Today marks 1568 day of daily lessons, day reflections, and today I speak about healthy. What actually healthy feels like regarding emotions. And of course, when I think about there's so many things that we can consider, and I think that I will want to speak even more about this topic and going a little bit deeper. But today I will speak more of a surface level, what that healthy really feels like. Because I think that sometimes when you've been in maybe survival mode, maybe toxic relationship, maybe toxic work environment, maybe toxic family, maybe neglected, there are so many places and circumstances where you actually able to really put yourself in a position to really normalize or tolerate bad behavior by others. And I think that this moment is very, very dangerous. When we start to normalize neglect, when we start to normalize crossed boundaries, when we start to normalize and don't see anything bad about it. I think that being able to be aware and what is unhealthy feels like, what is healthy feels like. So today we'll share more of a topic how and what healthy feels like. Number one is that healthy feels quiet. And the thing that when I think about quiet is the most important part is what is default. The default is quiet, so that means that when nothing is happening, you're able to be quiet. You don't need to think about the past, you don't need to think about the future, you don't need to think about troubles, you don't need to think about what other person did or what you're able to really quiet your mind, be peaceful, and enjoy the moment. Being able to present. And if doesn't happen, that means that something needs to be changed. Sometimes our nervous system that just gets triggered all times. Maybe we do not trust ourselves, we don't trust the environment, or don't trust something else. And that means that we need to really work and really build it. Because if I do not feel quiet on a journal day, because sometimes it'll be going up and down. That's all fine. That's normal behavior, normal and healthy behavior. But by default, majority of us we need to have quiet. That's a healthy. Number two is you do not have to earn your place. And what it means is that that's a healthy place to be in, healthy place to feel like that you're living is that you don't need to earn that place. You already have your being has value. Not what you provide. Your value is assumed, not conditional, not negotiated. And I think that when we have that environment where we feel that your being, just your being is valued, I think that's an extremely healthy place to be in. Because I think that when you're able to really change your mind, when you're able to really share your opinion without punishment, without judgment, without guilt, I think that's extremely important. Number three, your emotions move faster. And this is very, very interesting for me because what that moves faster means is what is recovery speed. And sometimes we need to understand that sometimes we experience bad things in life and everyone will experience bad things. But we're not supposed to stay there with that emotion for months, for years. I really love the analogy that I remember who said it, but I really, really love it. Is that life is like a river, and you stand in that river, and in that river sometimes there's poops going, and then that poop potentially could bump into you. And now your choice what to do with that. You can choose to really walk aside and allow that poop to really go with that river because poop will go or you try to really hug that poop and really stay with that as long as you can because it bumped into you. Now it's better to clean yourself up and at least that poop go, not to hug that poop. And I think that that's a great analogy for problems. When a problem, when a circumstance come into your life, we need to release that. Because sometimes I know that people, something happened for 5 minutes, something terrible happened in 5 minutes, and now they remember those 5 minutes for a day, for a week, for a month. I remember what you did you say. Well, I remember like what that person said. Do you remember what? Why we need to remember? Why we need to hug that poop, that problem? We need to release that because it's part of life. Then there's a lot of poops that will come to your way. But why we need to waste our valuable time on thinking about those poops. There's much more important things to consider in life besides it. Number four, conflict doesn't feel like the battlefield. And I think that is again, this is how the place to be that when you're able to really have a discussion, and you can call it conflict, disagreement, and you're able to really have your point. And I think that when you know that disagreement, that conflict will doesn't threaten the bond, because you know that the bond is much more important than disagreement. And I know that sometimes when there's two people involved in this equation, other person might be not having the same mindset as you do, and that disagreement, that conflict that's supposed to feel uncomfortable but is very beneficial for a relationship, and might be that other person is not willing to do that. And sometimes you need to ask a question: do I want to have this battlefield, but I don't know what will come out of it? Because that trust, there's lack of trust what other person will do. Sometimes creates anxiety where anxiety not supposed to be in, especially in close relations, because we're not supposed to be punished for speaking our own truth. That's extremely important. And again, we understand that we need to understand what truth is. Truth is not opinion. And opinion could be nice to discuss as well, but I think that the most important part is defend your truth. Number five is you feel more solid than intense. So what it means is that feeling healthy means grounded. Feeling healthy means clarity, feeling clear. And I think that is it's all about reactivity. So we need to be less reactive. We need to respond. So being able to, when something happens, being able to breathe in, reflect, and respond accordingly. Because I think that tendency is that majority of people react. Something happened, they react. Something happened, they react. And I think that the most important part when I'm thinking how healthy feels like is something happened, reflection happened, and then the response happened as well. So circumstance, reflection, response, rather than circumstance and reaction. I think that when we really include this reflection between reaction, between response, I think that we increase our ability to do the right thing hundredfold. Number six is you don't disappear to keep peace. I really love that because that's what healthy feels like. So that means that you don't disappear to keep peace is in a lot of different ways. That means that you're able to not overdo for others. You're able to say no to other people. You're able to create boundaries. You don't shrink because of others. Because people don't want to really pursue big things, but you want to pursue big things. They don't want to share those big things because other people will be threatened by your big things. Why you need to shrink to fit in? Or if you have non-negotiables, but other people don't see those as non-negotiables, and really cross those non-negotiables. I think that that's again the most important part is that we're not supposed to erase ourselves to really keep someone to keep peace. Sometimes I really learned that a video thing is that sometimes you need to create a storm to create a peace. What it means is that sometimes really we need to walk away from people, and other people might be very disappointed because of it, because they value your relationship, because your shrinked version of you, it was very suitable for them. But if you don't want to really shrink your version of you and be really true version of you, sometimes you need to create a storm, then walking away from people who doesn't serve you in a way that serve your true self. And that is a storm, and that storm creates peace because now you're able to be with yourself for a season of your life until you build your ground and you're able to really meet people who really are grounded as you are. Number seven, the last one, I think that is and probably the most important, is that what the healthy feels like is that you're able to choose not cope, choosing not coping. Such a beautiful thing. That's again this we are getting back into toxic relationships. Rather than thinking how we should cope in this relationship, how we could be more present, more mindful, more peaceful, maybe be able to choose and ask, do I need to be in this relationship where I need to cope all the time? And that's a massive difference. And I think that healthy feels like, do I need to tolerate this kind of behavior and work it around it rather than removing this kind of behavior out of my life altogether? And I think that healthy is asking, do I actually want this? Do I actually need this? And if I don't need it, maybe I really don't want to cope anymore. I want to strive. I want to really be healthy. I want to be peaceful. I want to be balanced. I want to have clarity. I want to have so many positive, uplifting emotions rather than cope in this environment where I'm right now. And I'm supposed to be that way. So healthy feels like choosing, not coping. So I hope you choose to win and see you tomorrow.